Hey everyone, this is Jack G, and these are my hobbies. I have a couple of brand new knives from ProTech that I can't wait to show you. They're a California company that sells a lot of knives that you can't buy in California, as it turns out. They sell a lot of autos that you can't buy in California, but I do have one here that you can, and I'll be showing this in probably my next video, so stay tuned for that. And the one that I'm going to show you is this beautiful knife that I've been trying to get a hold of for many months. It is called the Malibu, and it is probably, spoiler alert, going to be one of the top 5 knives of 2020 in my opinion. So if you can get one, I say try to get one. So before I get started talking about this beautiful knife, this is not an automatic, even though it looks like one with this button lock, which we'll talk about in a second. It is the release of the lock, which is awesome. It's actually a flipper. So we'll get to this in a second. I'll walk through this entire knife. Please like and subscribe as usual. This is me begging for money if I can help it, or subscribers, that would be great. Don't forget, if I can get to 1,000 subscribers by Christmas, I'll be giving away that great knife that I talked about a while ago, the Cricket tuna. But before I get started, I just want to give a shout out to Kit, and I'll put links and his name and every contact information, stuff like that, down below. I'm pointing down where I'll put the comments. To a great guy, Kit, who works. He's a knife maker, and he works for New West Knife Works. And they make a lot of kitchen knives and a number of other things. By the way, I highly recommend you get good kitchen knives, and they also make hatchets and such. They're also affiliated with Mountain Man Toy Shop, great company. I'll leave some information here, but please stop using your Holt Spectres and high-end knives for cutting food, and get some kitchen knives, people, for God's sakes. Kit, unfortunately, his father was diagnosed with cancer, and he's put together a GoFundMe. I'll leave a link, and if you can, leave him a few dollars to help his dad fund, cancer treatments. And, they're all just great knife people. He's very active in all the knife forums and such. So you'll see some of his mentions out there as well. So Kit managed to hook me up. I've been hunting for this knife, as I said, for many, many months. So let's real quick here, let me show you some swag that he sent me. This Mountain Man cloth here is kind of cool, and a few other things that because this is a PG-13 channel, I can't show you. But thanks Kit. Take care. The ProTech comes in a really nice box, good solid box. Inside the box they have a nice little cloth sheath for the knife, which I really like. I think that's a nice touch. I wish everybody did that. ProTech, like I said, California, USA made knife company. This knife retails for that much, so it is not inexpensive. We'll get to some of the details of the quality of the knife, which I think is just phenomenal, honestly. Before we do that, let's do some quick comparisons to other knives. But first, let's take a look at it in the pocket, because this is one of the things that I really like about this knife, is it has a really nice deep pocket carry clip. Nice black, which I like, very low profile. Seats flush, and there's nothing to tear on your pocket here because it's a smooth black aluminum coated knife. So it just goes beautifully in and out of the pocket. I've been carrying this since I had it, since I purchased it, and check that out. Really low profile, really like that. Can hardly see it. Slips in and out of the pocket really well. Look at that, just with ease. Very nice, nicely done, ProTech. Pocket clips are a big deal to me. So let's do a quick comparison to some other knives, just to lay this out. It's a little bit over a 3 1/3 inch blade. It's called the Malibu, so it is one of the things that is actually legal in California, and that's why they call it the Malibu, because have you been to Malibu, California? Let's compare it to the Ontario Rat 2, just to give you an idea of size. It has a nice long handle, a little bit longer than the Rat 2, so give you an idea, a little bit longer in the blade, because this is a 3-inch blade. Give you an example of of that. Let's compare it to the knife that I just reviewed. Looks a little bit different, doesn't it? This is the XM18 3-inch knife because I've started customizing. I'll do a full review on this knife. I have a lot to say about this now that I've had it for a while. But of course, the nice thing about the hinders is that you can customize them, and I did, and I even did some blurple and blue anodizing. I have the deep pocket carry clip on this. But anyway, let's just compare it to that because it's a 3-inch knife. Give you an idea if you have a Hinder XM18. So a little bit longer in the handle, a little bit longer in the blade. Put that up there. Let's compare it to the Benchmade Bug Out. The Bug Out, pretty close to the same blade size if I remember correctly in the Bug Out. So, and handle length. So it's very similar, I would say, to the Bug Out, except that it's a little bit thicker than the Bug Out. Let's see if you can see. This is a pretty thin Bug Out from the scales. A little bit thicker. And this one is for sale. I have for sale. Check out my Instagram. Need to fund this new knife, as it turns out. The other thing that I wanted to say about this is look at the blade stock. Is very thick blade stock on here. It's like 0.125 or something. I mean, it is thick. And if you compare that to, say, the Bug Out, if you're familiar with that, which is a fairly thin blade stock, mind you, on the Bug Out, but just to give you an idea, hopefully you can see that. This is the reverse Tanto. We'll talk about the blade in a minute. So that's it next to the Bug Out. Let's do it next to the, Mini Freak, which is a smaller blade, 3-inch blade, but still a nice blade. The reason I wanted to compare it to the Mini Freak is because these are the custom aluminum scales you saw me talk about. And by the way, this is for sale as well. The thing that these are aftermarket aluminum scales, really high-end company. They do a great job of the DLC coating. You can tell just how kind of thick and robust this is in hand, just by in comparison to the stock. I think they do a little bit better job of the coating on these scales, honestly, these aftermarket scales. It's hard to say. It's pretty close. But this is very good quality as well. Okay, so this for sale as well. So check out my Instagram. I just want to talk about that. Also, these scales are milled just here, but not the rest. So they're very sturdy and thick in hand, which is nice. Very full in hand. Nice knife. As well as these scales, hopefully you can see them here. They are not milled, so this thing is solid, man. It is thick, solid. Love the contouring of the knife, kind of tapering down here. I have medium-sized glove hands, so it fits really well in hand. I mean, really well. The only thing I would like to see a little bit more of is like some jimping up in here would be absolutely perfect. I mean, your finger's not going to slip off of this because you have the flipper tab here. But, you know, there's, which I like, is nice smooth surface, especially around the pocket clip. But, and it's, you know, not slippery, but could have a little bit more, you know, tactile feel to it, if you will, with the little milling. They do have other titanium, these are the aluminum ones. They do have other titanium scales that are a lot more expensive. And then they have a custom version of this that's quite expensive as well. The blade, this is the reverse Tanto, which I really love. I mean, look at that kind of like, hopefully you can see that, kind of like a little upswept sort of sheep's foot. So it's a really nice for cutting. They do have a Warncliffe version, which I was originally going to get, but Kit kind of talked me out of it in a way, and I'm so glad that he did. Let's see, what else to talk about on this part while we're here. I love that there's just no markings on the blade. It's just so clean. I mean, everything about this knife is just clean. I mean, check that out. Just beautiful. It is a flat grind, fairly thin behind the edge, actually, for as thick a stock as it has up towards the back of the blade here, which would be nice for batoning, or if you're, you know, using it on a ferrocium rod or something like that, which I really like. It just says ProTech here, kind of understated, which I really enjoy. There's no markings on the blade, just gorgeous Stonewash blade. Hopefully my lighting here, I think, is pretty bad right now, but hopefully you can see that kind of Stonewash a little bit there. It is a button lock. It's called a plunge lock. And when you push it in here, hopefully you can see that, kind of releases that there, and it's just free falling. This is probably the most fidget-friendly knife I've ever found. And, you know, if you're sheltering in place like we are here in California, this is the perfect knife because my thumb is just, hopefully you can see that, like after all these months and you know, with knives like this, tearing up my thumbs and my fingers, it's just an absolute joy having this because the deployment is just beautiful. It's a little heavy blade, so you can see it doesn't just, you know, completely fly out, but it flies out pretty darn good for as heavy as blade it is. And you just push in the button lock. I was worried that like I would push this with my hand and then it would, you know, fall down my hand. It's going to catch here first. And you really can't, you can see, you really can't push on that button lock and release it unless you kind of get down in there. Hopefully you can see that. So it's not going to release at all. So don't worry about that. Plus your hand is naturally here or here and kind of hammer grip or, you know, the reverse grip here. You're not going to be pushing that button unless you intentionally push it down and then just let gravity do the work, which is cool. In fact, you can even just hold it down and deploy it that way as well. And then it locks into place right here. Really nice, just a beautiful design. I think you're gonna see a lot more of these button locks. You can kind of tell that they took this button, which was the deploy for their automatic, you know, kind of switchblade knives, if you will. When you push it down, you know, releases the spring and also then push it down to release the lock. This is a really nice idea to put it on a flipper. I don't think there's too many people that are doing this now, but expect to see a lot more of these types of knives coming because this is just such a nice design in my opinion. Nice little, just solid, just super solid construction. Didn't really go much for the lanyard, which I'm not a big fan of, but I suppose you could do something there if you wanted to. Just a gorgeous blade. It is, in fact, here, I think I already showed you this. It is 20 CV steel, which is one of my favorite blade steels. It really holds an edge all day long. Really love that. Nice long blade, just over 3 inches, so it's legal, but like, you know, it's a nice size, big size, thick blade. And it's just so fidget friendly. I mean, you just like, beautiful deploy. Isn't that nice? And then just like the easy release. You just do this all day long while you're watching football on a Sunday, like I have been today. Go Chiefs, go Seahawks. Anyway, take a look at that. And what else is there to tell you about this? I think that's about it. I went a little bit long, but man, I'm telling you, I'll do a top knives of 2020 that have come out in 2020 and also top knives that I have that I would consider just best of as of 2020. So I have a few more knives coming in. Stay tuned for that. I'll do another review on this other ProTech here that is an automatic, so stay tuned for that. And I have a couple new knives coming in as well that I think you're gonna really like. But just one more look and then I'll sign off. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends. There's beautiful contouring here. No sharp edges anywhere on this. They just did such a great job. Your finger lands here with a little bit of jimping here. And it's just super smooth, so you're not gonna tear up your finger like a lot of other knives that I've had recently. Hinder, I'm looking at you. Yeah. By the way, I had an issue with my Sebenza 31, which I'll talk about next. It's currently back at the mothership. They're taking a look at it, so stay tuned for that if you want to know more about Chris Reeves knives as well. So there you go. Beautiful knife. Please like, subscribe. Take care, everybody. Stay well. Say prayers for Kit's father, and if you can, you know, throw in some money as well to his GoFundMe. Welcome to America, where, you know, medical bills are outrageous. Take care, everybody. Stay well.